Okay, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Alexander Hilly123 here, and it's time for Chapter 15 of my Evil Within 2 Classic Mode walkthrough. And this was going overall pretty good up until Chapter 11, and then things took a real turn for the worse. And I was completely and utterly expecting that, no word of a lie. Because that's the way this game is. It's kind of, in many ways, not entirely, but it sometimes feels to me, this game, like a game of two halves. You've got the start of the game up until maybe Chapter 9 or so.
Where did you go?
Just after you kill Stefano, and just the start of all the Theodore bullshit. And then after Chapter 9-ish. And the first half of the game, for me personally, I prefer a heck of a lot more than the second half of the game. I really, really do. I prefer Stefano to Theodore, I prefer the locations, and I prefer the gameplay, and,
What is this?
yeah, it's just...
Shit.
The labs are kind of cool, but it's just the overall experience. I think I prefer the first half of the gameplay big time compared to the second. And I feel that more so on Classic than on other difficulties. If I'm playing on Nightmare, I don't give that much of a shit. But anyway, I think this is where I'm making my second to last save, is it? Yeah, it is. However, before I do so, I'm going down here. And I missed this when I first played this game, guys, but I shouldn't have. But shoot that out, and you get some goodies. Now, I think you get a lot less goodies on Classic than you do the other difficulties. Because obviously there'd be some... You get jack shit. May as well have smacked me in the face, you cheeky sods. Unbelievable. And one shotgun shell as well. And this away, there's something. Probably just a bit of gunpowder. Oh, an explosive bolt too. Cool. The explosive bolts are pretty good for the final boss. I've got absolutely shitloads of nails and I'm not going to run out, that's for sure. Seeing people on Twitch at the moment doing classic mode, no herbs, no saves. Ladies and gentlemen, those people need to be checked into a mental institution. Because that is utterly crazy.
Detective Castellanos.
I also think I need to be checked into a mental... There you go. I need to be checked into a mental institution as well. Because I can't speak today. You know, you just have those days where you can't string coherent sentences whatsoever. I am having one of those days. Oh, wow. Smoke bolts and condensers. No, we'll take those just before the final boss, I think. But the Ashmen that are coming up, ladies and gentlemen, I'd say they're a little bit faster than Lost, and just like the Firemen, they have a charging attack, which yet again is very, very unfair. But you just saw there, I got some assault rifle ammo, and that's good. The Amalgam Alpha coming up, I am going to save my game, because I'm not 100% sure, and you know what, guys? We're going to find out together. Join me on this journey. We're going to find out together. I'm actually going to max out my handgun here. I don't know how accurate you have to be with the shooting of the Amalgam Alpha, because he's got a tiny little red circle where you can shoot him. But I've been told, and when I watched Jigsaw Killer's walkthrough, it seemed like you don't actually have to be that accurate. But yeah, Chapter 16 on this game is nothing. In terms of gameplay, there's nothing going on. Now, I'm just thinking to myself, the area's coming up. There's the Ashmen twice. And then there's the Amalgam Alpha. we're going to make the save here. And the next save will be before the end of the game. But let me tell you guys that when I did Classic Mode for the first time, where I was terrified of everything and shitting myself, this right here was my actual last save. So if this is your last save, unfortunately it's going to be a bit nerve-wracking. You're going to have quite a lot to lose, but you can do it. And what I will say is apparently one of these two Ashmen here, when they spawn, if you run up to the one on the left, you can get a free stealth kill. I've seen it done, but with base stamina, I'm not quite sure. But it's like I said before, go liberal with a shotgun here. Important you know what's coming up, and believe me when I say go liberal with a shotgun, it doesn't matter. Let's see if I can get the stealth kill. Yeah, I can. Look at that. Surprise, motherfucker. Still doesn't know where I am. It's so choreographed how they fall over on this game. Look at the physics of the enemies in the first game. Watch what happens in the first game when you shoot with a shotgun at an enemy and there is another enemy, another haunted as they're called in the first game, behind that one. Watch the physics. I'd like to show video footage of that actually happen because it's brilliant. The one that you shoot will not knock over, but he'll force the other one backwards ever so slightly. And that's really important in the gameplay because it can buy you an extra few seconds for you to get ready for your next attack and for what you're going to do. But on this game, the shotgun doesn't really do that. It's the broken record playthrough, but we're getting close to the end, so I'm going to say it once more. The devs didn't realise what people loved about the first game, so they acted on what everyone hated about the first game to make the sequel. Simple as. Trust me, guys. I'm a doctor! No, I'm not really, but I know what I'm talking about.
Stop!
Anyway, it's time for yet more Ashmen, I think. This fight is a little bit harder. And these ones, once they see you, they start going apeshit and running all over the place.
Oh shit. More of them?
If you've got a lot of resources like I have here, just go for it. Go a bit crazy, I say. Yo, guys! You like my iframes? Whoa! You see what I said about the shotgun just about a minute ago? Yo, guys! You like my iframes? Oh! Why does the shotgun not work properly on this game? Get frozen, you fucking wankers. Oh! The evil woman fucks me again! And I still get a stealth kill. Look at how retarded that gameplay is. So, in the first game, the freeze bolts will break the enemies apart and kill them instantly. On this game, you've still got to attack them afterwards. Which is the better way of doing it? The former or the latter? You already know the answer to that, ladies and gentlemen. The former, of course. That's the thing. The first game will give you a difficult enemy, like the Keeper, who's fast, and he's got some pretty vicious attacks, but he can be killed rather easily. What does this game typically do with the Keepers and the Beacon flashbacks? It makes them tanky. Really, really tanky. But they're not tanky in the first game. They are naturally difficult. In this game, they put them in a bullshit narrow area and make them tanky. And it's those kind of gameplay dynamics as to why this game is nowhere near as good as the first one. Know what I'm saying? Oh, a medkit though. Do you want to see the worst use of a medkit in this game ever? Well, there you go. But anyway, it's the Amalgam Alpha. I actually don't know what this boss is called, but I think I'm going to call it the thing that looks entirely like the Amalgam Alpha, but without it being any fun whatsoever because it's a piece of steaming shit. Although I think that's a little bit too wordy, but it is a steaming piece of shit. And in the first Evil Within, with the Amalgam Alpha, you use a shot bolt, it will work. You use a freeze bolt, it will work. And you can then, when it's incapacitated the enemy, pummel them with ammo. And it's like I was saying with the Keeper before, you pummel him. Once you freeze him, hit him with what you got, and you will be taking health off him. On this game, though, it doesn't work like that. The shot bolts do nothing to the Amalgam Alpha coming up. The freeze bolts do nothing. They just don't work. The smoke bolts work, but he's still so sporadic, and you don't gain a tactical advantage from doing that. Fucking hell, this gameplay annoys me, man. So, unfortunately, what you're going to see here is me not really knowing how to do this. But what I would say is, by running around the houses, he'll lose track of you, and it's still probably beneficial to attempt to use the the smoke bolts, but the assault rifle, the recoil is just pathetic. I'm not 100% sure, but I've seen other people damage this thing, not in the red little vagina, whatever it is, the mound of flesh. Dear Lord. But it is really, really, really difficult to shoot. Really difficult. So I'm just going to pop off a few shots at him. Anywhere, basically, first. That hit him. But this thing doesn't really react to the hits, which doesn't surprise me with the Evil Within 2. That's when you pummel him. And he's gone.
Please let that be the last of it.
You know, Seb, I've kind of been feeling the same way about this whole game after Chapter 11. Even on my first playthrough, by the time I got to Chapter 12, I knew that this game had let me down, and I knew that my heart had been broken. This whole walkthrough, ladies and gentlemen, is starting to turn into a little bit of a tragedy. Not because of how bad it is. I mean, after Chapter 10, the gameplay has been pretty bad at times, but before that, I think I did a pretty decent walkthrough. And then I lost my mind, started screaming, behaving like a little bitch, and it all went crazy. But yeah, if you're not playing on Classic, you'll get a lot of green gel from this motherfucker. Just around this back house, you will find another explosive bolt. Now, the last boss, like I said before, it's very kind to you with the hitboxes. Like, Myra, her mouth lights up and you've got to shoot the mouth, obviously. But if you shoot an explosive bolt even close to it, it will still count as shooting the actual mouth itself. So, I will see you guys for Chapter 16, which is going to be a bit of a comedy video. See you then.